people saying, we'll wait. We're like, okay, we're getting there. Okay.
Huh?
There. That's,
We're going to be okay.
that's the link. Good.
Oh, here we go.
Lars, do you see it?
I see it. History of remakes on the screen.
Okay. Let's try this. Here we go. Three.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again. My name is Mark Jackovic. I'm the Jazz Education and Archives Manager for MCG Jazz, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Over the last several years, we've been working with a lot of schools in West Virginia. Shout out to my schools in Lewis County, Tucker County, and Randolph County. Thank you so much for joining us today. And today we are here at WVU, West Virginia University, with Dr. Jared Sims. Thank you so much for having us here today. And we're going to talk about remakes, a history of remakes. And we're going to focus on 3 songs: A Tisket, A Tasket, All the Things You Are, and the Baby Shark song. All right, let's get started. Jared, tell me, what is a remake?
Remake is when you take an original song and you change it and make it your own.
Yeah.
That's it. We're going to look at the first tune, as you mentioned, A Tisket, A Tasket. This is a tune from the 1800s that children would sing, and they'd play a game that was a little like Duck, Duck, Goose.
Oh, Duck, Duck, Goose. Okay, I know Duck, Duck, Goose.
So we're going to put the lyrics on the screen, and some people might know it, but if not, we'll look at the lyrics and we'll all say it together. We ready?
All right, here we go.
A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, but on the way I dropped it.
I dropped it, I dropped it, and on the way I dropped it. A little boy, he picked it up and put it in his pocket. Then in 1938, 2 jazz musicians reimagined this nursery rhyme. Instead of speaking the rhyme, they added rhythm, they added melody, and Ella Fitzgerald and Al Feldman came up with a song, a world-famous jazz song. And they teamed up with the Chick Webb Orchestra, and they made this song famous. Wow. We got Lyd. Lyd, come on up. And we're going to tell us just a little bit about Ella Fitzgerald.
Awesome. So, like you said, my name is Lyd, and I'm going to tell you about Ella. When she was 21 years old, she wrote and recorded this song with the Chick Webb Orchestra. The recording brought Ella to national fame. That means she was famous in all 50 states. So, when Ella Fitzgerald now is known as the First Lady of Jazz, or song, because of her amazing vocal quality and ability to improvise. Her singing was so fantastic that she received 14 Grammy Awards, among others. We are now going to perform our version of A Tisket, A Tasket, and if you have any questions, you can type them in the comment box and we'll respond after the song.
A tisket, a tasket, a brown and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my mommy. On the way I dropped it, I dropped it, I dropped it. Yes, on the way I dropped it. A little girlie picked it up and put it in her pocket. She was trucking on down the avenue without a single thing to do. She went pecking all around when she spied it on the ground. She took it, my little yellow basket. And if that girlie don't return it, I think that I would die. if that girlie don't return it, don't know what I'll do. Oh gee, I wonder where my basket can be. Oh gee, I wish that little girl I could see. Oh, why was I so careless with that basket of mine? That itty bitty basket was a joy of mine. A Tasket, lost my yellow basket. Won't someone help me find my basket and make me happy again, again? No, 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 no. No, no, no. No. Just a little yellow basket. Ba, 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 dee, doo, doo, do. A little yellow basket.
Wow, fantastic job. I hope you're clapping in your classrooms, because wow, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you. All right, Lars.
Yeah.
Some of you might recognize Lars. He came to a couple of the schools with me. Do we have any comments or questions?
We have some comments. We have hello from a lot of schools. We have hello from Jane Lou Elementary.
All right,
We have
hello,
from
J-Lou.
Peterson Central Elementary. A
Yeah.
lot of classrooms there. Fourth grade classes specifically. Second grade classes as well. Say hello.
Hello.
Then beyond that, that's all the school shout-outs we have.
All right.
I think people are probably curious about these three instruments here and how they interact with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this big black instrument, tell me about that instrument, Mike.
So this is called a piano. It has 88 keys on it from the bottom. So it's basically an entire orchestra of instruments at your fingers. It's a really percussive instrument, unlike a saxophone that you have to blow through. You have to send air through to play. This, you just hit your fingers onto the keyboard to generate the sound. So I can generate a lot of different noises all at once.
Man, speaking of percussion, what do we got over here? Help me out.
Here I got a drum set, and just like the piano, the drum set is a percussive instrument. And what you just heard was a variation of a mambo pattern, which is it's a Latin style of music. And traditionally, Latin music is typically played with multiple percussionists with multiple different instruments. But I'm only one person, so it's my job to try to make the drum set sound like multiple percussionists while playing.
Awesome. And Lars, this big wooden thing, what is that called?
This is called a double bass. And the double bass's role in jazz is to play walking bass lines and swing music and other bass lines and other styles of music. So like with mambo and other Latin styles, you play other variations of bass lines.
Thank you. All right, so our remake came from a nursery rhyme. And then they turned that nursery rhyme into a song. Our next remake comes from a musical. I'm sure you've heard of musicals before, maybe Hamilton or Phantom of the Opera or maybe Wicked. Well, this song comes from a much older musical called Very Warm for May. And the song we're going to focus on from that musical is called All the Things You Are. Jerome Kern wrote the melody, and Oscar Hammerstein II wrote the lyrics or the words to the song. And Jerome Kern and Oscar Hammerstein, both of them, or Hammerstein, pictured here, Jerome's on the piano and Oscar's over sitting next to him. Both of these gentlemen are very important people to jazz and the American songbook. Jerome Kern and Oscar Hammerstein both had long careers in musical theater and popular music in the 1900s, so about 100 years ago. And their songs are still played by jazz musicians today. Their songs are very popular even to this day. So let's listen to the original version of All the Things You Are from the musical Very Warm for May. And as you listen to this, see if you can pick out the different string instruments and brass instruments that you hear and put those in the comments there for us to do. All right, let's listen to that recording.
To make my heart heart beat the faster. What did I long for? I never really knew. Finding your love, I found my adventure. Touching your hand, my heart beats the faster. All that I want in all of this world is you.
Didn't that sound great?
Yeah. Oh man.
That particular arrangement used instruments from the string family like violins and cellos, also instruments like flute and oboe. Really, really, really nice. And if anybody has comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. The thing that we want to play next is a remake of that particular piece. This was done by two great American musicians named Dizzy Gillespie, who played the trumpet. He also went by the name Diz.
Yeah.
And then also on this instrument right here, this is the alto saxophone, Charlie Parker, one of the greatest instruments of the 20th century. This is going to be our remake of All the Things You Are. And we're going to play this version kind of similar to what Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker would have played. And we're going to add a vocalist. So I'd like to bring up Sophia.
Welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Count us off.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You are the promised kiss of springtime that makes the lonely winter seem long. You are the breathless hush of evening that trembles on the brink of a lovely song. You are the angel glow that lights a star. The dearest things I know are what you are. Someday my happy arms will hold you, and someday I'll know that moment divine when all the things you are mine. Kiss of springtime that makes the lonely winter seem long. You this hush of evening that trembles on the brink of a lovely song. You are the angel glow that lights a star. The dearest things I know are what you are. Someday my happy arms will hold you, and someday I'll know that moment divine when all the things you are mine.
Excellent job. All right. All right, Lars, did we get any comments, questions?
We got some comments. You
Alright.
asked people to talk about what instruments they heard on the recording of all the things you are.
Yeah.
Overwhelming majority say violins.
Violins,
I think there are violins on that track.
so, too.
Also flutes on the track as well. Do you want to maybe expand on some other instruments that were on that?
Sure. What else did everybody else hear? So we talked about brass instruments, right? So what brass instruments did you hear in there? We had trumpets in there, trombones, typical orchestral setting for that. Any other comments on there?
Let's see. There were some problems hearing the voices. Much better now.
All
So
right.
Great. Glad
Yeah,
to hear
we
that.
tried to improve from last year.
People are loving to hear Sophia sing. Wonderful job there.
Thank you.
Let's see. Zoe asked when the bass instrument was first created.
Ooh, do you know that one, Lars?
You know, that's a really good question. Off the top of my head, I want to say that this incarnation of the bass with 4 strings that's shaped like this is incarnate of around the 18th century. Before then, there were instruments that were very similar to this that had 3 strings. And there's a long history of bass voices in music, in stringed instruments. But this incarnation of the bass has developed since about the 18th century, so the mid to late 1700s.
Great question. Thank you so much for getting those in. And we have one more song to do for you. Our last remake that we are going to get my right spot here. Here we go. That we're going to talk about is the Baby Shark song. This song has gone viral. Over 4 billion people, with a B, billion, have watched this song on YouTube. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So, with a little bit of research I was able to find on this particular song, it comes from a German poem called Kleiner Hai, meaning baby shark. German poem. Where is Germany? Where is Germany? So we have a map for you to look at. Germany is in Europe, and you can see it's in that green color, Germany there. All right, so we have, just in case, there's a little bit more history about it. So it was written in Germany, and then after that, somebody found that poem and turned it into a hit song in the 2000s. And that person was Alexandra Muller. But we're going to play for you the one that you've probably heard before. Let's see if you recognize this. I bet you will.
Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark. Mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark.
Daddy shark, do 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 do, daddy shark, do 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 do, daddy shark, do 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 do, daddy shark.
Grandma shark, do 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 do.
All right. That's Baby Shark. I'm sure you recognize that. Jared, can you help us out and tell us about the musicians up here that you've been working with? Your students, right?
I want to tell you who all these students are, and then we're going to do a remake of that piece. First, on the drums, from the state of Maryland, this is Kyle Vitiello. That's Kyle on the drums. On bass, this is Lars Swanson, and he's from West Virginia. On piano, Michael Jones from Morgantown, West Virginia. And Our wonderful vocalist, Sophia Mont, is from Illinois. That's how you say it, correct? And Lyd Halkias, who's from Pittsburgh. So we're going to do this piece, except for we're going to do it in our way, which hopefully you like even more. It's going to start with a New Orleans beat. We call it a second line beat. We're going to hear a little bit of drums, then we're going to bring in the bass and the piano. And on the tenor saxophone and the alto saxophone, we're going to riff a little bit underneath the vocalist. We're going to modulate keys, and then we're going to have a solo section, an open section where we all just have fun, and then we're going to end the piece. So we hope you like it.
Here we go, our remake. So much for joining us today. I'd like to thank the crew that's helping us out today. Video techs, come on out. This is the behind the scenes look. So we have 3 different cameras set up today. All these microphones, the lighting. So I got to thank my crew. Thank you so much for the crew here at WVU. Thank you to the musicians. Thank you so much. And I'd like to also thank all the schools that logged in today to watch, and our partners in Lewis County, in Tucker County, and in Randolph County. I'd like to thank the Benedum Foundation for their support. And of course, thank you so much, Jared Sims, for helping us out with all of this. That's all we have for you today. And please remember, anything can inspire a song. Nursery rhyme, musical, anything can inspire a song. Thank you so much.
Reprise Baby Shark.
Reprise Baby Shark. Here we go. 1, 2.